Hello. Hello, everyone. And happy eclipse. Happy full moon total lunar eclipse in Taurus. We're going to be about these energies tonight. This is impromptu, so we'll see who hops on. I want to welcome right now everybody who's going to be watching this on the replay. These energies are always relevant. And so if you're not catching this on the night of the eclipse, the energies are still as relevant. We experience them for about 6 months after an eclipse. And this has been a big one. As we're talking about, we have another set of eclipses along the Taurus Scorpio axis in 2023 that will really be kind of connecting into, and what's the word that I'm looking for? Kind of like tying up loose ends, completing this trifecta of eclipses here that began earlier this year along this axis. This is a big one, you guys. Hello. Hi, Whiskey Mike. Welcome. Everyone hop in and say hello in the chat when you get here. And don't forget to hit that like button as well. I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight. I wanted to do a video for you guys and hop on and do a live stream earlier than this in the week, but it's been a pretty crazy week around here. So we're here right now, right in these energies. So what better time, really? Hello, Baymax. Hello, Pete. Hello, Evelyn, Joe, Third Eye Vision. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, we got the whole crew popping in here. I can't wait to see who else joins us. Yes, the moon is gorgeous. This is, and I didn't look this up myself, but my roommate was telling me this is the last total lunar eclipse until like 2025 or something like that. Total being the key word there. And really the fact that, hello, Stephanie, the fact that this is a total eclipse holds a lot of power when we think about that word, because there is a totality. There is like a weight to the energy of this eclipse. That new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio was really powerful, and this is the partner to that. And as we said, we have a whole trifecta which completes in 2023 along this axis. These eclipses are powerful. They're bringing in a lot. They're removing a lot. And just wait. We went into the energies of this a little bit in the Scorpio season video, but we weren't able to do a video strictly on these eclipses. So we're going to get into some of that now. But we did mention some of it, and it is powerful, the lineup that we have going on. So I didn't do what I normally do and read into and write something out about the energies. I just haven't had the time to do that, but I have been feeling into them. And we have our chart here. You can't really see it because of the glare, but we're going to be looking at this chart and talking about these energies because it's, I mean, this packs a punch. I don't think I have to tell you guys that. I think you've been feeling it. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Tiny Moon Goddess. Hello, Lucian. Yeah, it was. And we are still feeling it big time. The warm up to this eclipse, and really this eclipse season, right? Because we have a couple weeks in between the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, the new moon and the full moon, right? And within that window, the energies are really just continuing to build. And this has been, it's going to be different depending on where we are in our life's journey at this point. For some of us, I think this has felt very much like a dark night of the soul kind of energy. For others of us, it's been very invigorating. It's really lifted us up. And I think for a lot of us, it's done a little bit of both, right? It's kind of been that roller coaster. And so we're going to talk about why that is. Hello, Susie Sunshine. Oh, I'm so happy all you guys are popping on right now. Let me turn the volume off my phone here so that doesn't interrupt us. Yes. Oh, go right ahead. If you gotta vote, you gotta vote. Go out and do it. Whatever it is that leaves you feeling empowered, that is absolutely acceptable. Any reason why you gotta step away, we are here. If the live stream's over, just tap right back in. Your energy is already felt, and it will be felt this entire time. Hello, Angel Energy. Yeah. Ooh. Yep. Yeah, I'm hoping too. Like I said, I don't know how uplifting this is going to be. We're going to get into it. We're going to find out. Right now, we're going to talk a little bit about why it is that this eclipse is feeling so intense. And of course, we know anything when we're working with that Taurus Scorpio energy and that axis, right? There's going to be that intensity. We talk about this quite frequently on here when we're talking about working with what I call the axis of enlightenment. All right. And nobody said that enlightenment was going to be a 100% joyful process, right? There's ups and downs. We're digging into that shadow and bringing that into the light. There is so much that is happening in this quest for truth, for this deeper understanding, for peace, for clarity. And yeah, there you go. Taurus moon, Scorpio sun. So you're really feeling this, Susie. Let's see here. Yeah, I believe it is. We had this eclipse more or less exactly conjunct my natal Mercury. So I've been feeling this energy as well. Oh, whew, yeah. All right. Let's get into it. So during this eclipse, we have the sun and the moon opposing each other, as they always do during a full moon. And then we had the moon conjunct Uranus and the North Node, opposing the sun conjunct Mercury and the South Node, with some energy from Venus filtered in there too. So we have almost all of our personal planets involved in this eclipse. And when all these personal planets are involved, we know that this is going to be something that shakes us up, not only on a collective level, but on a very personal and individual level. There's a deep level of personal transformation when we have this many of our personal planets, or the personal planets, I guess I will say, because ours would be our natal charts. And this is the, the transiting planets, but potato, tomato, whatever. You guys know what I'm trying to say right now. It's the personal planets. This is felt very deeply and acutely in our everyday lives and in the ways that we function and see the world. Hello, Jamie. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome, beautiful. So yeah, there's a big impact there. And when we have the nodes present, the way that they are during this eclipse, that signifies that there's going to be a long-term lasting impact, especially when Saturn is activated as well. And we have each of these planets in a square to Saturn, right? So Saturn, that T square that we've been talking about for quite a while now with Saturn, that planets have been moving in and out of, this eclipse is activating, which is a really big deal. So Saturn coming in, and we're going to talk about Saturn's role in this. But what I can say right now, and I think it's really fascinating that this is happening on election day. And so I think it's great that you are going out to vote, Tiny Moon Goddess, I believe it was, because the outcomes of this election through this natal chart here for election day will have lasting repercussions. And I mean, I go back and forth with this, whether I believe that voting makes any difference at all or not. I am one of those people who truly believes that the system is 100% rigged. But I do believe that there are ways to make an impact, or at least to understand where it is that we are or we are not able to make that impact when we try. So I never discourage voting. I have gone out and voted many a time. But regardless, this chart is saying that the things that happen today, the choices that we make, will have a lasting impact moving forward. There's a very heavy karmic influence with these nodes and Saturn activated here. There's a lot that we are becoming aware of, a lot that is coming to light and has been coming to light. Saturn, oh dear, right? Since that solar eclipse. And really, since we had the first set of eclipses along this axis earlier in the springtime. And if you want more information on that, I did do videos on each of those eclipses. So go ahead and look those up if you want sort of a refresher and to kind of look at like what was going on in your life then versus what's going on now. And then another check-in point when we move into, I believe it's springtime next year, that we have our final set of eclipses along this axis in 2023. But we're focusing right here, right now, what we got going on. And it's this eclipse is really, and this eclipse season, the primary thing that it's doing is bringing into focus our life path and our life mission, right? North Node, South Node, where it is that we've been. It's helping us understand where we have been so that we can understand where we're going. And we're really getting a clear picture of where it is that we want to go, where it is that our soul's being called. With Saturn there, that influence of Saturn is bringing up all the ways that we feel restricted when we think about where it is that we want to go, where it is that we want to move to, where it is the direction that our life is being called, that our soul is being called in this lifetime. Saturn is showing us where there are circumstances, whether inner or outer, that are hindering us or preventing us. And when I was thinking about this, it was really interesting because I was reminded of it was a couple days ago that the Cosmic Creators Facebook group, something randomly popped up asking me if I wanted to start a chat for the Facebook page. And it was like 8:00 in the morning. I was really hazy, and I was like, why not? That sounds like a good idea. So I started it, and I didn't do anything with it, but a bunch of people noticed that it had been started and started chiming into it. So it was really cool. And there's been some great stuff shared in that Facebook chat because you're all so amazing, right? And one of the things was we were giving like little nuggets of wisdom that we've gained through our experience in this lifetime. And something came through that I shared, and I was being reminded of it when I was thinking of the energy of this eclipse. And it was, the things that you can't change are meant to change you. And so for some of us, that's some of the energy of what Saturn is telling us during this eclipse. The things that you can't change are meant to change you. Hello, Pippi. Welcome, beautiful. Which I thought was it felt really profound to me, and it still does, because there are some things that we can't shift and change. And so part of what this eclipse is telling us is that the things that we perceive to be the roadblocks, the hindrances on our path, may in fact be our path. They may in fact be part of our purpose, and they may be our purpose right now. If we can't shift it, if we can't change it, if we can't remove it, then that is something within our experience that is going to shape us, that is going to shift us. And that is right in alignment with our purpose. And so it's the recognition of that and the acceptance of that. And the acceptance that we may have an idea and a feeling of why we feel we were placed on this planet at this time. But we don't know everything, and we don't know exactly what the road is going to look like that's going to take us there. So we have to trust the road that we're on. And yes, make the necessary adjustments. Saturn always wants us to make the necessary adjustments, especially Saturn and Aquarius, because Aquarius is that Uranian energy, right? That is the game-changing energy. All right, so it's like, do what you need to do, but do it better. That's what Saturn and Aquarius says. There's a better way to do what you're trying to do. And with this Uranian energy active right now, it's really giving us an ability to tap into that solution we haven't seen before, to tap into those other options. All right, the options within the options, or the options within the lack of option, or seeming lack of option, perhaps. So that's one way that some of us are going to be experiencing this eclipse. It's going to be bringing up, and it is, right? Because it's happening right now. It's bringing up the things that need to change, the things that we can change, right? It's the acceptance and the understanding of the profound energy of the things that we can't change right now. But it's also seeing and understanding the things that we can change and taking action around those. All right, so it's a twofold kind of an energy here. And it's really lighting the way and showing us, it's like what we truly want, what we truly desire, which is, of course, what leads us to our soul's purpose and our soul's calling, is going to be very, very clear. We're going to come out of this eclipse, I feel, for many of us, knowing exactly what it is that we want. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have it yet, but we're going to know. And there is an incredible amount of power in knowing, but also in trusting timing. All right, everything that we want happens in divine timing, but divine timing and our human timing do not necessarily always line up. And that's a lesson that I am learning very intensely right now. It's been an interesting journey. I love you guys so much. I wish that I were able to be on here more than I do right now. My son's going through a sleep regression right now, and we haven't been getting a lot of sleep around here. It's been rough. I have not had a lot of time and energy. Most of my free time and energy has been spent trying to catch up on sleep, honestly. And a lot of things have had to go on the back burner. So that's like an aspect of me accepting the things that I can't change right now. Accepting that, yes, I have a purpose that I feel called to in my soul, but I also have another purpose now. And that purpose calls louder sometimes. you know? So it's like, these are the kinds of things that we're really beginning to understand, and we're beginning to, it's like, once it becomes clear what it is that we are meant to be facing or working with, or where we're meant to be putting our energy right now, it's all about doing that and trusting that process. For some people, what you're going to be shown is what stands in the way within you. So for some of us, if there's something within us that needs to heal, if there's some way that we need to shift internally so that we can pursue our calling, pursue our soul's desires in this lifetime, our soul's passion and purpose in this lifetime, that's all going to come up to the surface so that we can begin to heal that. And this is deep stuff, you guys. This eclipse packs a punch, like we said. And so it's not tiptoeing around. This is like getting right to the meat of the matter. Remember, this is the Taurus Scorpio axis. Both of these signs like to get right to the point. All right, there's no dancing around here, unless it's something that we're doing for fun and release and connection. My son's name is Liam, Suzanne. Hello, Mitchell. Hello, Lightmaker. Hello, Leonard. Yeah, truth and wave of dominoes starting to happen. Unseen to seen, next wave. Love it. Yep. Absolutely. I've been getting rest is best, and it's so inconsistent. Yeah. that is all I want most days, is that rest. I can relate to and feel that. Yeah, a lot of truths coming to the surface for each and every single one of us. All right. But these truths are really meant to shift our perspective. They're meant to shift us, and therefore shift our reality. There's a lot. I mean, with this Uranus conjunct the moon energy, this is also a huge activation of the emotional body that we're experiencing right now. Opposing the sun conjunct Mercury, it's also a huge activation of the mental body, the mental and emotional bodies, and how those can come into harmony. We're being asked to harmonize those two aspects of our being. A lot is coming up within the emotional body to be released, to be processed, right? Within the mental body, within the physical body, right? And we're seeing and understanding and respecting on a deeper level how all of these aspects are linked, and how important it is to address and take care of all of these. It's merging unseen to seen, existential, eternal, present, presence. Ooh, say that 5 times fast. It seems like all directions merging, one timeline, storylines, connections, etc. I love that. Yeah, there's a lot of really powerful cosmic energies going on, you guys. There really, truly is. And I think we're going to tap into the cards. I wanted to go with an old faithful to get us started today and do some starseed oracle cards, just to see what guidance we have for all of my beautiful starseeds. Pay attention to the inspired thoughts that you're having right now, to the ideas, especially if they're taking you on a trajectory that you had not expected before, right? Especially if they're leading you in a direction that wasn't something that you had anticipated. Remember that Uranian energy. Clear. For a lot of us, this is, and it hasn't just been eclipse season. There's a lot of energies at play here, right? But eclipse season has definitely been a big factor in this energy of really opening our eyes to truths. And this, I think, was mentioned in the chat, right? Truths that we hadn't seen before, or different perspectives and angles to things that we had perceived as truth. It's been causing us to question our truth and to form a completely new perspective based on new information coming in, based on new understandings and intuitions. And it's this period between all the shadow work we're being asked to do right now, all the ancestral and generational healing. There's a lot of that energy between the eclipses and Scorpio season itself, right? So there's a lot of that going on. I just lost my train of thought just like that. Give me a second, you guys. So we're talking about the truths, right? There's a lot of It's that energy of the dark night of the soul, right? Because all of this is coming up at once, right? We're moving into alignment with our path. We're seeing where we're out of alignment. We're seeing where we had perhaps perceived ourselves as out of alignment when we're actually right on course, but the course is taking us somewhere different than where we thought we wanted to go. There's just so much that is really plunging us into this. It's like another level of awakening and all the stages that entails, right? What I'm thinking of right now, what Spirit's showing me is sort of like the different stages of grief. It's kind of like that process that people are going through in a way, whether we're grieving an aspect of the self that's leaving, right? That we're being asked to let go of, whether we're grieving a person, a situation, our own perception of reality and what we thought truth to be, whatever it is. It's like some of us are going through these stages of grief around whatever it is that is shifting within us and without. Yeah. Hello, Ty. Oh, it's great to see you. Oh, no, we want to do one more shuffle. We're really shuffling these cards today, you guys. I'm interested to see what's going to come out here. All right. We have surrender to the sweetness coming out. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And we do have Venus active in this eclipse as well. And so it's what I'm being reminded of right now is the energy and the knowledge and the understanding that what we are meant to do on this journey is to follow our bliss. And so Spirit's reminding us, follow your bliss. When you feel confused, when you feel like you don't know where to go, when you feel like you don't know what to do, when you feel like you don't know who you are anymore, follow your bliss. That will guide you home. That's all we ever need to do. And Pete, I feel like this is reminiscent to a message that you had posted in the Empath Uprising group the other day. Actually, I'm thinking of that as this is coming through. So this is a message that Spirit really wants us to know and understand is like, when you are lost, follow your bliss. Your bliss will lead you home. All right. There's so much that we came here to do. And this has been part of my next level of awakening, is trying to figure out what exactly that is. Now that some of the things that I believed about this reality are starting to shift. And I am going to share some of those things with you and some of those perspectives at a later date. I'm still really mulling over a lot of the new information or perspectives that are kind of coming in. And so there's a lot of different possibilities for why it is that we're here, right? But regardless of any of that, following our bliss, that is the way, that is the key. That is the key to the kingdom, right? So really, even if things are hard, even if you are confused, find those little moments that you can savor. All right, because life is worth savoring, and Spirit wants you to know that. In the midst of all the chaos and all the confusion, there are beautiful moments. And those moments remind us why it is that we wanted to be here. Uptick of people who you didn't know were paying attention. Oh yeah, Whiskey Mike. Our influence goes further than we think. People that we can't even imagine are watching us. All right. And people that we didn't even think were becoming aware are becoming aware. It's really beautiful and powerful. Children are your bliss, Suzanne. I wish we lived closer so you could come and join my son for a little while, because he's so adorable. He lights me right up. He lights everybody up who meets him. It's so beautiful. I never knew what true innocence looked like or felt like until I had my son. I never ever did. It's like nothing. That level of beauty and purity and innocence. We need that, right? We need that. And those of us who have the wisdom to pay attention to that and to learn from that, that is bliss right there, right? It really truly is. And having that energy on this planet is so incredibly beautiful. And unfortunately, pure innocence can't really be preserved in this world that we live in. But what I can preserve for my son, I will, right? Bliss is a great compass. Yeah, of course, we all like to doubt it. We're trained to doubt that, right, Ty? We're trained to doubt ourselves. That's what this whole experience is about us realizing that we've been trained to doubt ourselves and taking that energy, like coming into that energy of confidence, coming into that energy of trust within ourselves, within our being. Hello, Poetic. It's Quincy. Is that how you say that? Quincy, it's wonderful to see you here. I'm so glad you made it. Yeah. A mother of 4. Wow. I take my hat off to you. I tell you, I love my son dearly, but I cannot for the life of me understand why people have more than one child. It's a lot. So I 100% take my hat off to you. That is, I have so much respect for parents, not just mothers, but fathers too. You know, my partner is an incredible father, and he works just as hard as I do. He and I, like, we really are a unit, thank God. But moms, dads, parents, it is not for the faint of heart. I'll put it that way. So that is very impressive. But yeah, children are absolutely beautiful. And it definitely has been just a powerful experience to witness that type of innocence, because I don't even recall the time where I had that level of innocence. All children do, right? Some lose it quicker than others, depending on the circumstances of their little lives, right? But all children come in with that level of innocence, and they bring that energy to this planet when they come in here. Anyway, we're going to keep moving on here. Star bathing is coming out next, and this is all about the light body, the crystal grid, transmissions, activations. A lot of powerful activations coming through. Remember, when we have that Uranian energy, that's really bringing a lot of that. These eclipses, full moons and new moons are portals in and of themselves, but when we add the energy of an eclipse, it's like an uber portal. So there's a lot being activated within us. And I feel like the integration is going to be easier for us if we are in this Venusian energy, right? If we are, it's like Spirit wants us not only to rest during this eclipse, but if possible, to really pamper ourselves and to practice that self-love. That's what Venus energy is coming through and saying, is really practicing that self-love. What is an act of self-love? Right? Because we talk about self-love in these abstract terms all the time. But hello, Cookies Mama. What is a way that you can show your love for yourself by taking an action? What can you do to pamper yourself, to make yourself feel good? That's going to actually assist with the integrations. And I'm really feeling salt baths for everyone. If you have an opportunity to get a salt bath, take a salt bath. Absolutely doing that. I like to do mine with pink Himalayan salt, some sea salt, some Epsom salt, because I like all the salts, and a little bit of baking soda or baking powder. Yeah, there's a lot. And so when we talk about a lot, the sun, right? And receiving the healing rays and the power from the sun, the activations from the sun, during these full moons and these events, and this is a full eclipse, right? But the moon is going to be visible before and after the eclipse. So really soaking up those moonbeams and being present under the stars is going to be really powerful, especially when the sky is really dark. Those stars, I feel like I'm feeling somebody who was out under the light of the eclipse, or the lack of light of the eclipse, right? And the stars, you notice how powerfully and how brightly the stars were shining, and the way that they were twinkling. And there were activations, transmissions, and messages being sent to you through the stars. And you may not have consciously recognized them as such, but they were activating you and they were downloading you. Yeah, there were some of our galactic brethren up there too, saying hello, and they're still out there. They're out every night. They're out every night, and you can recognize them in a bunch of different ways, but the biggest way is through the resonance. When you notice that star that looks a little bit different, that's perhaps moving a little bit differently or twinkling especially bright, right? And you feel this energy kind of wash over you. That's one of the ways that you know, because they're not always moving. Sometimes they are, and you can tell by the way they move, the speed that they're moving, stuff like that. But sometimes they're just sitting there twinkling, but it's the way that they shine. You can feel them. Confidence and efforts and harvesting these efforts without guilt. Absolutely. Yeah, we got to let go of the guilt, you guys. That is not doing us or anybody else any favors. Karmic relationships coming out. So there's a big energy, and there has been a big energy around this for some time, where we're really being called to close out to close out the karmic ties that are toxic. And what Spirit's bringing through right now is that when we talk about karmic relationships, hello, Sophie, a lot of times we assume that they're negative, right? Like toxic karmic relationships. But they're not necessarily always negative, like karma. It's just like when you think about karma. Hi, Pamela, welcome. We talk all the time about the fact that karma is not necessarily negative. If we put negative energy out there, then we do receive negative karma back, right? We receive that energy back. But if we put positive energy out there, we receive positive karma back. All right? And it's the same with relationships. Like all of our karmic soulmates are not necessarily bad. It's not necessarily a challenging or difficult or painful situation. What if we have a karmic soulmate who's coming in as our good karma? Right? So I think that's interesting. It's all about seeing the dual sides of everything. And this card has Orion energy. But it's all about soul growth. So we're really seeing throughout this eclipse who it is that we have in our life and how it is. It's like recognizing, and Spirit wants us to recognize the ways that the people in our lives have helped us to grow. To look at that, to look at the relationships that we deem to be toxic, the ones that we deem to be beneficial, to look at all of our relationships and really take stock of how it is that this person's presence in your life has facilitated your growth as a soul. What have they given you in terms of soul growth and evolution? Your good karma. Absolutely, Suzanne. That's out there, baby. Orion. Yeah, Whiskey Mike. I have a powerful resonance with Orion energy. Couldn't throw no one without the other. Exactly, Mitchell. And welcome. Everyone does have a light and a dark side, right? It's about learning how to embrace both. It's about balance. What we hide in the darkness grows, right? Breath of the cosmos on the bottom of the deck. My will to thy will. Mike, we're managing the universe. So this is where those energies of control are coming up. And this eclipse season is really, remember that quote, right? The things I can't change are meant to change me. The universe is really asking us to give up control, to stop trying to micromanage situations and get out of the way so that Spirit can do its work. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling for some. But this is also where we are coming into a deeper synchronization with our soul self, with our higher self. And there's a beautiful thing that happens when that happens, is my will becomes the will of the divine. They're one and the same. And it's a beautiful experience when that occurs. I remember soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. So what we're talking about right now, destiny. Moving along the path of our destiny. Hello, Leanna Rodriguez. Oh, wonderful. Oh, welcome. It's so happy to have you here with us. Yay. Oh, I love you guys so much. Pippi and I got married and honey. Oh my God, Mitchell. Oh, you two are. I've been following your journey, the pictures. It's your road trip looks like it's so much fun. I'm kind of like living vicariously through you two right now. So thank you for sharing the photos and all of that. I've been watching. You guys were in Sedona. I was like, oh my God. I saw the pictures of you two in Vegas. You're like really cutting it up. It's beautiful. And I'm just so happy for both of you. And I'm happy that you're commemorating your tying the knot in such a beautiful and memorable way, right? Like really making the most of it. It's gorgeous. You two are gorgeous. So I'm so happy for you both. Yeah. So it's like that deeper understanding of our soul's plan and the acceptance for how that is playing out, even if it's different than how we thought it would look. But the universe is going to give us little glimpses. I had a little glimpse the other day of just like a little brief snapshot of a vision of like a possibility for my future. And it felt really good. It was really beautiful. And sometimes it's hard to think when we're going through something and life feels challenging. It's hard to think that it's ever going to be any different, right? It's like this what's going on right now feels like it's what will always be. And sometimes we forget the transient nature of life in general, that everything's always shifting and changing. And so it's like for some of us who need that little pick me up, Spirit is going to be sharing us little snapshots of what's to come, of possible timelines, likely timelines, I want to say, for our future. Ooh, yeah. Spirit's going to be sharing these snapshots of these possible timelines for our future with some of us. And it's going to be an either or energy. It's either going to be, if you like what you see, keep going down the road you're going, even if you don't understand it right now. If you don't like what you see, then what do you need to do to shift that? Because remember, this is why like telling the future and all of that energy, like it's not valid, because timelines are always shifting and changing. Any decision, any choice we make can change our timeline, can change our destiny. All right. And so anything can shift in the blink of an eye. But that awareness, like we said, again, awareness is key. So if we can be aware of where it is that we're headed, we can decide if that's where we want to go. And then Forge, Don't Follow. This is all about being your true authentic self and following your true authentic path. That's that Uranus energy right there. I want to pull from the Enchanted Map Oracle for you guys. Or for all of us. I don't know why I say for you, because I'm giving myself a reading just as much as you guys when I do these. Clear. It really trips me out sometimes, the things that come up during these readings and how applicable they are in my own life. Aw. 9/9/2020 when Mars went retrograde in Aries. Oh, I love it. 9/9/2020. That's actually that's kind of an anniversary that I have with another friend of mine who found me through YouTube as well. It was right around that 9/9 portal. I think there was a lot of energy for my tribe that was sent out at that time. So that's really beautiful that is the 9/9 portal back in 2020. It was when you started tuning in as well. That's really interesting. I like that. All right. Let's see what's going on. What guidance do we have surrounding this eclipse in Taurus? The energy is what's happening, what's shifting, what's changing, what are we being shown? We have rock bottom coming out. So this is that dark night of the soul energy that some people are experiencing. This is where everything's being cleared away so that the foundation can be built. If you were building something and you were not building it on a strong foundation, the house had to come crumbling down. But it's not out of cruelty. It's so that what was built next would last. And that's what we're moving towards right now. Remember, Taurus energy, it's all about stability. It's about the long game, the long term. This is an energy that is enduring. So Spirit is making sure that what it is that you're building is meant to and will endure. Hello, King Shanes, welcome. So some of us, this is the place that we had to hit. This is where this energy is bringing us. But from this place, we will rise. Right? And for some people, I'm being reminded of a phrase that we used in 12-step a lot, which was rock bottom is when you stop digging. And so that's the understanding that rock bottom, like you can drag that energy out forever until you're ready to put down the shovel. All right. So for some people, it's like you've gotten to the point, you get to rock bottom when you realize that enough is enough. When, to pull another phrase from 12-step, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. All right. We choose our rock bottom. It doesn't choose us. All right. So rock bottom can happen at any time. It's when we finally surrender. That's when it gets so bad and it gets so hard. Trying to micromanage the universe, right? Trying to keep pushing an agenda that doesn't want to be pushed. Whatever it is that we're doing, right? When we get so broken down that we cannot dig anymore and we put that shovel down and we surrender. That's the beauty of rock bottom. And you know what's interesting about this card is you see how there's a path above and a path below. Reflections. Ooh, this is interesting. This is making me think of mirroring timelines or something like that. Like there's a projected reality that we're experiencing, and there's a direct and opposite reality as well. And this is the doorway that allows you to jump from one to the other. I don't know. That's really fascinating. When paths converge, that's another thing that's coming through. That's interesting. I feel like for some people, it's like your rock bottom is leading you to a point. It's like your rock bottom or your point of surrender and somebody else's point of surrender are going to intersect. And something really powerful is going to come out of that as a result. Somebody whose energy is mirroring yours or something like that. Another energy that I'm feeling for this is like the current you and the future you. I don't know. That's interesting, right? Hello, Lisa. Hi, fashionably late is perfectly fine. Oh, thank you, Sophie. Fashionably late. There is no such thing as late on here. You're always right on time. Yep. Regardless of how the path winds, it will get you where it is that you're meant to go. Speaking of winding, now we have the spirals here and the Wizard of Awareness. This eclipse season could be likened to the wizard, right? Bringing through the awareness. But this is like reaching a key point on your journey where you understand something that you hadn't understood before. For some people where this rock bottom energy resonated, it's like you've hit other rock bottoms before, or what you thought was a rock bottom, but there was something that you didn't see or didn't understand. And now this time you're understanding it. You're finally getting it, I want to say. It's kind of like for a lot of people, this eclipse season, Spirit is offering you a new level of awareness. It's just like, are you going to accept it? There's something, some path toward a new level of enlightenment. But it's not something that just happens in a flash of understanding and knowing. It's like a path that's offered to you. Are you going to take that path? Whether this is a teacher that comes into your life that offers you a way forward, whether this is a new spiritual discipline that you're getting ready to develop, whether this is a new gift that's being sort of unraveled for you, a new psychic gift that you're meant to cultivate more, a deeper truth that's being revealed to you, that it's going to take you down a new path. Oh, thank you, Whiskey Mike. That was very generous. Much love to you. If you're ready, that's what this energy wants to know. That's what the Wizard of Awareness wants to know. Are you ready? Oh, that's so funny, King Shanes. I didn't see that you wrote that. Right after I said, are you ready? I looked up and you had typed, yes, I'm ready and open to receive. Perfect. Then we have commitment coming out. Yeah, and you notice how the star, it looks like they're holding a key. There's a keyhole in the middle of that. This is what we're talking about. The commitment. There's a level of commitment that's going to be necessary to achieve this level of awareness. Something is going to be asked of you. There's a commitment that needs to be made or honored. Some of us, this eclipse season is reminding us that there is a commitment that was made that needs to be followed through. And it's through the following through of this commitment, the honoring of this commitment, that this next level of awareness is realized. There's going to be a deeper level of awareness in general, I think, as far as the commitments that we've taken on in our lives, the meaning behind them, the importance of them. Hello, Brianna. And also just the being able to weigh and understand the difference between the commitments that are necessary and that are going to bear fruit, and the commitments that have perhaps outlived their usefulness, right? And so this is where we're releasing ourselves from the commitments, from the contracts that are no longer necessary or fruitful for our growth. Because I think that there's also another misperception that that soul contracts we are required to honor all soul contracts. And something that I'm learning is that isn't necessarily true. There may have been soul contracts. There may have been things that you agreed to that are no longer in your best interest, and you are able to mark those as null and void. It's up to you to determine what contracts are beneficial and which are not. There's contracts that we make with other beings, right? Contracts, soul contracts come in all shapes and forms. And they're not necessarily always as binding as we think. We can release ourselves from them if and when it feels necessary. Thank you for all those beautiful reminders, Pete. Then we have Follow the Leader coming out. And isn't this interesting? The paths, right? You see the path here as well, and you see the clock up in the tree. Speaking of divine timing and the energy of time. This energy of Follow the Leader here. Are you a follower or are you a leader? What does that mean to you? And I think this is where some of us too, those of us who do understand and see ourselves as leaders in some capacity, are understanding the weight that comes with that And we're really beginning to understand to a deeper extent the way that our actions and the way that our words influence others. And yeah, there's a delicate balance here, right? Because on the one hand, everyone is sovereign. We can't take responsibility for other people's choices and decisions. Hello, Arnett. But at the same time, there is a responsibility that has to be taken when you know that you have an influence. How do you wield that influence? How do you use that? So it's like taking ownership and taking responsibility for the energy that we put out and for the example that we're setting. I think it's funny. I keep coming back to things that were said in the chat. I think that somebody mentioned that people noticing them, realizing that people were paying more attention to them than they realized, that they were picking up more than they realized. And this energy is especially relevant for me now. I'm really beginning to understand the ways that children, as they begin to grow, want to emulate their parents and copy everything that they do. And I'm realizing that everything my son sees, those are going to become his own habits, at least as a young child. And it's really making me think about the things that I do even more, about the example that I'm setting, right? We're all setting an example in our own ways every day. So are we using that? Are we using our power responsibly? Because people are following. We call ourselves the way showers on here, right? We show others the way. And so how are we guiding people along that path? Let's see, angel energy. I'm reading your comments here. Maybe praying for your dreams to come true and having them come true, and then having somebody come into your life who is a distraction sounds like an interesting opportunity to me from the universe to show, like, what is it that you want? What is it that you really want? Are you able to maintain your focus when something else is drawing your attention in a different direction? It's almost like, how bad do you really want it? Or how important is this to you? How important is your own peace? How important are your own dreams? Maybe, I don't know. Children and dogs have even been watching me. Yes, and poetic. That's a great point. And this is something that we all want to understand as well, which is that as we become more vibrant, as we become more spiritually vibrant, we are going to command more and more attention. More and more people are going to notice us. Children, animals, you name it, right? They're picking up on our vibration. And because of that increase in vibration, we are going to be more noticeable. We're going to be more noticed, and we're going to be even more of a leader. All right. More people are going to follow in that example. So that causes us to take on a greater level of responsibility. Our words and our thoughts are going to have more power as well. So we want to be really careful how we wield those and how we use those. Oh, good. I'm glad that was helpful, angel energy. Oh, I love you so much. You're so sweet. Aussie. Aw, with your cats. I love that. One of the greatest things, and I think Pamela is on here. I think she was the one, it was either Pamela or Paula, who their cat was a huge fan of this channel. And I've actually had quite a few people tell me that their cats love to watch me, which I think is really funny. I have sort of like an unofficial cat fan club. I don't know if we've talked about this on here before, but I have people who've told me that their cats will quite literally hear my voice from the other room and come running to sit in front of the computer or whatever and watch me. So apparently my energy is very cats really enjoy it. And it is funny because I absolutely love cats, but I'm very allergic, so I don't have any of my own. I grew up with a lot of cats, but it brings me a lot of joy to imagine all of these beautiful felines watching my channel. So our tribe is full of cats too. The cat whisperer, yeah. Oh, that's awesome, Whiskey Mike. Oh, that makes me so happy. I want to pull a few tarot before we sign off here. And then I think we might end with a Sacred Light Oracle. I don't know if I've used this on here or not. I love the cards, the guidebook. Clear. Kind of leaves something to be desired. But the cards themselves are pretty beautiful. So let's get a few more cards here from the traditional Rider-Waite for this full moon total lunar eclipse in Taurus. There's so much of that scorpionic energy that we're feeling, right? All right. Ooh, so we have the Six of Cups coming out with the Four of Wands. So these are dreams realized. Dreams from childhood, I'm feeling. Dreams from our youth. The things that we truly wanted in our heart of hearts. This is where we're talking about these things becoming revealed to us. And it was 55:55 on the clock when I said that, which is the number of changes, right? Oh, your dog loves. That's great. Oh, I love that. So, dreams from childhood, dreams from our youth, the things, it feels like it's not the time that you had these dreams isn't so important as it is where we were talking about the energy of childhood, right? The innocence, that purity of a child. That's what this feels like. Your pure, what you desire most in your purest heart of hearts is becoming real, is becoming realized. And realized could mean different things. It could simply mean it's coming into your full awareness, or it could mean that it is coming into your manifested reality. We have the Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like for some people, this has been like where there's been a lot of pain and torment and stress and anxiety around just in your life in general. Like you've been experiencing a lot of that lately. But now there's this beautiful fresh new start. Let's get a little more energy here. This could also be definitely reunions for people. The Four of Wands is the 1111 card, right? For those who read Twin Flames and energy like that. So happy reunions of souls. All right. We have the Six of Swords coming out with the King of Cups. So this is where we are really being given an opportunity to move on to calmer waters when it comes to both our emotional space and our mental space. The swords are a mental energy, right? An air energy, but the cups are a water energy. They're an emotional energy, a heart energy. So it's like emotionally being able to move on emotionally. That's what I feel like here. More than anything. So where it was that we were attached to something on an emotional level and unable to let it go, we're finally able to move on. We're finally able to have closure. And it's that closing of the door that finally makes the space for this. Yeah, soul reunions. And remember, this doesn't have to be from this lifetime. This can be past life soulmates as well. But it's where it's like this eclipse, even though it's bringing up some heavy emotions. Hello, Stevie. Welcome. Hello, Stir the Pot. Even though it's bringing up a lot of heavy emotions and a lot of heavy things for us to deal with, it's also giving us the opportunity to really set ourselves free. And it's giving us that ability to pull ourselves up and pull ourselves out I wanted to say like pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, but I know that's like a really like kind of a gross quote about capitalism in general, right? But I don't know why that was what I wanted to say there, and I tried to find a different way to say, because I'm just not like a big fan of that. Freedom, I like that, Suzanne. That's one way to look at it. But it's like knowing that we had the power all along. It's like this eclipse season is really putting the power back in our hands and reminding us that we have the power to change. We have the power to leave. We have the power to set ourselves free, to let go. That's where our greatest power lies. And the only time that anybody else has any power over you is when you are hanging on, is when you allow them, when you let them. So it's like really releasing ourselves and setting ourselves free from situations, from attachments that no longer serve us. And then what comes out? Boom, Wheel of Fortune. All right, blessings, destiny. The next page, right? It's like turning the page of the book, the next phase of the cycle. And the sun. All right. I don't know if there's any better two cards to come out together than these two. This screams blessings, joy, vitality, positive changes. And that's what Spirit wants us to know, is whatever changes are being initiated by this eclipse, internal changes, external changes. Hello, Moon. Welcome. Whatever changes are being initiated by this eclipse, they're ultimately for the better. Yes. What is your question, Moon? They are leading you toward ultimate joy. And once again, see, we have the naked child, once again, representing purity, innocence, trust, vulnerability, right? But vulnerability, right? This child is vulnerable, but he knows that he feels safe, right? The vulnerability doesn't make him weak. It doesn't make him a target. He is 100% safe. Yeah, it is like the rebirthing, right? That feels like a powerful energy for this eclipse in general. Will you kiss somebody? That's what you want to know. Do you want to? Go ahead and make it happen. All right, take control, take charge of that situation. Then it shall be. You know what I'll do? I'll pull you a card for that, Moon. I'll pull you a card for that. Let's see if I can find my deck. I haven't played with this deck yet. I'm going to pull you a general card for the energy, period. I know this is dangerous territory to get into because we're already at an hour and I'm not going to be able to do this I'm not going to be able to do personal questions for everyone, but I feel like it'll be fun just to pull one right now real quick. Clear. I mean, that summed up the energy of this eclipse right there, the rebirthing. All right, Moon. Moon and her person in question. Give me one card for the energy of their connection. Oh, wait, hold on. Clear. Forgot to clear that out. Don't want my energy in that. All right. One card for the energy of Moon's connection with her person in question. One card on the energy of this connection. So we have separation, time apart from your partners on the horizon. I don't feel like this is your partner though, right? This is somebody that you have feelings for. Underneath that was pay attention to the red flags that wanted to jump out there. Tell me anything else here. Moon and her person in question, her crush. So the guidance that you have is you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So what Spirit is wanting to say, and time apart, I mean, this card could simply indicate that you two are not spending a lot of time together right now, or that you don't get to see them that much, or you may be going through a period of time where you don't see each other as often or spend as much time together as you have been. Like perhaps there's just life is pulling you in different directions for a while, so you're just not in each other's presence as much. That's what I'm feeling like that separation card may indicate. This attraction card here is the angels telling you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And this brings us back to the first card that came out when we were talking about following your bliss. All right. So the more enamored you become with your life, the more in the moment you can be, the more you can enjoy and really enjoy your life, the more you're going to attract love and romance. So spend your time doing the things that make you feel good and really trying to love and enjoy and be fully present in the moment, and see how that draws the energy of love to you. When you fall in love with the world falls in love with you. Keep seeing numbers that add up to 3, 4, and 5. Interesting. Feels in alignment with the transformations, or at least the planetary alignments. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I love numbers and the way that numbers can add up. Of course, Moon. Thank you. I love how numbers can add up like that. I love that you have the awareness to be noticing that and paying attention to what they're adding up to. I don't know why this was just making me think of a stages of awakening joke that we had going on in the Cosmic Creators group of the stages of awakening numbered. What stage are you at? I don't know why that was coming into my mind. What do those numbers mean to you? It definitely feels like like the sequential energy of it is interesting. I'm not getting anything specific about what that specifically might mean, but I feel like there's a relevance for you specifically. And I mean, what have we been talking about in this live stream today? The way that like divine timing, right? Everything happens in divine order. The 5 energy is very significant in eclipse season, right? Because that's the energy of shift and changes. The 4 is the security, the stability. The 3 is the number of the Trinity, the Holy Spirit, right? The mind, the body, the spirit. I like that. Yeah. Transformation and big changes leading to harmony. Because I'm currently, oh yeah, man. I feel that being in chaos right now. Life feels very chaotic. You know, so I think if anything, this is like Spirit's reminder to us that like the seeming chaos, from that chaos will be birthed something that that eventually someday makes sense. Clear. I think a lot of us right now, it's about learning how to navigate and live within that unstable energy. Because I mean, to be honest, things aren't going to get stable on this planet for quite some time, probably. Right? The instability of the world in general is going to continue to grow. So can we find our center? Can we find our peace in the midst of the storm? That's what, in order for us to have any sense of inner stability, where it's essential for us to figure out how to do that. Oh, that's so weird, Whiskey Mike. When you said it'll add up, I was thinking, what happens if you add up 5, 4, and 3? That's 12, right? Which is another 3. Something with the adding up. There was something important there. I don't know. It's the addition piece. And something with things being added. Like things are going to continue. Spirit just said eventually things will add up. For those of us who are confused right now. Clear. Oh. Thank God Source has a sense of humor, right? Our higher selves. All right, let's give us one card. One closing card from the Sacred Light Oracle for this eclipse. Interesting. Yeah, I think some of these numbers, there's a significance to us that other people aren't going to be able to understand. And we may not be able to understand until one day, all of a sudden, something will happen and it'll click. And you'll be like, oh my God, that's what it meant. Just pay attention and hold that number in your mind. It's almost like, and you notice room 304 and you want to go in because that number has been coming up your whole life and there's something significant behind that door. Like, I don't know, it could be even just like random stuff like that we don't know what it means yet, but we will. Oh, I love it. Getting more guidance on the numbers. Yes. Yes, I love it. You guys are amazing. A website that I love that I always check my numbers on is Sacred Scribes. I think it's sacredscribes.com, but if you type Sacred Scribes into Google, it'll come up with a website and she goes through all the angel numbers. It's a really great resource. That's what I use whenever I see repeating number sequences that I'm curious about. 47, interesting. Yeah, I've never read the Kyle Gray Angel Numbers book. Yeah, but I'm sure that one's great as well. I have a couple of decks by him actually. 123. Yeah, I love that. And there, once again, we've got the numbers all in sequence and all in order. 1, 2, 3, right? So the card that came out for us was card 34 while we're on the numbers game, which breaks down to a 7. And this is the Universal Merkaba, a sacred purpose. You have the answer, lucid dreaming. So for some people, Spirit wants you to know that the answers that you seek will be found in your dream time. Make sure to cleanse and clear yourself and set your spiritual protections before bed. This is something that I've been doing every single night, and it's really improved the quality of my sleep when I am able to get some. It's been really helpful for me. You want to set that sacred and clear space and reinforce that space before you go to bed so that the quality of your dreams is undisturbed. And then pay attention to what comes through, because I feel like some people, if there's a question that you've been pondering, you really want an answer to a question, set your sacred space before you go to bed, reinforce your spiritual protections, and then ask for the answer to be revealed to you in your dreams in a way that you can recognize and easily implement in your life. It's always great to add those disclaimers as well. This is especially relating for somebody to your spiritual mission, your spiritual purpose. Like we said, this is going to be revealed to many of us. I feel like for some people too, and it's the reason it's in your dream time, and specifically ask your higher self, because it's like your higher self has the answer. But for a lot of us, it's easier for us to access our higher self in our dream time, in that time right before we fall asleep, in meditation, and the times when the mind is more still. So it's like your higher self wants to get you that message. So create this, ask the question and create the safe, sacred space for that answer to come through. And for some people, I feel like with this lucid dreaming, you're beginning to realize that there's powerful work that you do within the dream realm or the astral realms. And we want to be, one thing that I've been learning lately is we want to be really careful when we're working in the astral realms, because we can pick up a lot of energies. There's a lot of stuff that can happen that we aren't even aware of. And we can do this when we sleep as well if we don't know where we're going. And so my guidance at this point is to always set specific intentions of where you are going during your sleep. One of the commandments I make to my astral self is that it not travel during sleep unless it is traveling to the higher spiritual dimensions above 5D of pure, true source God light, or something to that extent. Because some of the places our soul goes, some of the places that we travel to astrally are not necessarily healthy for our souls or our astral bodies. And so I get very specific about where my astral body is allowed to travel. I'd rather it stay right within me. But some of you guys, you're going to be finding that you do actually have powerful things to do in your dream state, but it's not going to be something where you're like, oh, I fall asleep at night and I don't know where I go, but I wake up tired and I know that I'm doing work. That's the kind of stuff that can indicate that maybe what you're doing in your dream time is you'd be better staying in your body as opposed to letting your astral body travel. But some of you, if this message is for you, you're going to be lucid. You're going to know where you're going and what you're doing. There's going to be a level of control where it's like you are fully aware of what's happening. It's not going to be a thing where you have no idea what's going on. That's going to be for some. And the Merkaba is a great way too, if you are astral traveling. That's why the Merkaba exists, right? The Merkaba is a spiritual protection that you place around your energy field that allows you to travel from dimension to dimension without picking up extraneous energies and other things that you don't want to pick up, right? It shields and protects the astral body. Tired of keeping secrets for myself. Right, Suzanne, I hear that. Oh, the things are going in divine sequence. Yep, Solik, I like that. And hello, if I didn't say hello to you yet. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Amber. Oh, interesting. 1014. That's a big number for you. That is fascinating. Ten and 2. Oh, I love you, Whiskey Mike. Yep. All right. Yeah. Lucid dreaming is a skill that I have not mastered. I mean, I become aware that I'm dreaming in my dreams, especially the ones that are unpleasant. When I have unpleasant dreams, I become aware that I'm dreaming and I pull myself out of them. It's not quite fully the same. And I start controlling what I'm doing in the dream, as well as then begin to pull myself out of it. So I don't know if that's necessarily counts as lucid dreaming. But that's the only time it ever happens. And then there is always that time. I think when we get closer to waking up, we start understanding that we're dreaming more. And then we start becoming the observer of the dream before we wake up. So I don't know if that's the time that you would hop onto the lucid dreaming train. Because I do notice that in general, with my dreams, is at the very end, it's like I'm in the dream, but I'm also watching the dream and understanding that it is a dream. Not usually throughout the whole thing, though. Hello? What? I almost said hello to you again, Pippi. I know you've been here. Yes, the Isis Oracle does have a really great description about the Merkaba and working with the energy of the Merkaba. Absolutely. All right. Anything else here to follow that up, even though I said that was the last card? We'll see if one more card wants to come out. Here we go. Inner Oracle. You are the channel, deja vu, self-fulfilling prophecy. And we got the scales here, right? Some Libra type energy going on here. And it's interesting. I was just watching Manifest. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that. It's a really fun show, and they have a new season coming out. So I'm rewatching the 3rd season. And the scales, they were talking about the Osiris weighing people's heart against the feather. Although I believe it's actually, now that I'm saying this, I believe it's actually Anubis that does that. But regardless, it was the energy of the weighing of the soul, the deeds of the soul. So I think it's interesting that that's coming through again. So there is a lot of energy here where it's like clearing karma, clearing any of these heavy energies, and really taking ownership for our actions. That energy coming through again. But what does this say, right? Inner oracle. So Spirit just keeps reminding us, you are the oracle. You are the channel. Your higher self is the one that has the knowledge and the information. And this is something really important. And I was going to do a video on this. The importance and the understanding that I'm coming to, that each and every one of us, like we spend a lot of time trying to channel other beings, right? But ultimately what we're meant to do is channel ourselves, tap into our own higher self that has all the answers. We don't have to look outside of ourselves. It's all within us. So some of us really coming into this knowledge and really beginning to work with our own higher selves, and to see ourselves as that all-knowing oracle, to really tap into our own inner knowings and to begin to work with those and to cultivate our own relationship with our own higher self and the ways that that higher self can guide us. And then the self-fulfilling prophecy is also reminding us what you imagine comes into being, what you believe. Remember, we're always talking about belief systems, how important our belief systems are, because they create our reality, right? Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And so that's what Spirit wants us to remember. If we expect a certain outcome, that's the outcome that we're going to get. So why not expect the best? Why not put that energy? This is something that we've been really learning lately, is how to use our mental energy wisely, how to project that energy to create the best outcome. So really focusing on that as we move through this eclipse portal. And also sacred space coming out, just really solidifying for us the importance of creating and cultivating that sacred space in your home before you go to sleep, when you wake up, and doing what you can to make every space that you are present in a safe and sacred space, and to hold that safe and sacred space for others as well when necessary. And then I am going to hold that card up for you guys in a second. But this also speaks of positive outcomes, lucky attractions, and the removal of obstacles, as well as clarity, all right? And all of that clarity is found within this sacred space, like we were talking about, within that space that you cultivate to commune with your own soul. And then the last card we got out here was Antakarana, crossing the rainbow bridge, resurrection, coming full circle. So I think that's a beautiful closer. His cards are absolutely gorgeous. And the energy of rainbows showing up so much lately, are really glimpses into these higher dimensions. And we can really work with the energy of rainbows. And I feel like rainbows are showing up to give us signs, to remind us to get lighter, to remind us to remain high vibrational, to remind us when we are feeling heavy, to remind us to let go of some of that density. My laptop's going to die in a second, so that's probably going to end this live stream, I'm thinking, because I'm not sure where my charger is right now. So pay attention to when you see rainbows, much as 111, 1111. What are you thinking about? Do you need to let something go? Can you release some density? Can you focus on the joy, focus on the beauty? Allow yourself to be in that beauty for just a moment. Suzanne Clary, because we have both a masculine and feminine essence, so your higher self is both male and female, right? That's the duality. Those are those two essences within yourself. That makes absolute sense that your higher self would be either. It's both and it's neither, right? So it can manifest in any way. And maybe you're more in your feminine or more in your masculine at the time, or you're being called to be more in one or the other when your higher self reveals itself as that way. Ask your higher self that question and see what else it has to say. Oh, Jamie, you saved your house today. I'm not quite sure what that means exactly and how that went about, but I am so glad. That's beautiful. That is great. That sounds like a very positive thing. So saged. You saged your house. That's a really positive thing too. I'm glad that you did. Created that sacred. I mean, depending on what was in there, you may have saved it too. So sacred space can absolutely mean meditation. Yes. Saved by saging. Exactly. Oh, you guys are great. I love you so much. Remember too, before my laptop dies, I want to remind everyone we are in the 1111 gateway right now as well. Starting on 1/1, moving into and through 11/11. Our thoughts are manifesting quickly and powerfully. That's why we had that card come out, that reminder. All right. So really pay attention to your thoughts, your words, as well as your actions. Know that what you expect is coming into fruition in your manifested reality. So expect good things. Pay attention to the numbers, pay attention to the rainbows, pay attention to anything and anything that you feel like is a sign or is pointing you or calling your attention. I feel like Spirit is showing us things right now to stop us and to grab our attention. When our attention is wandering, when we need to notice something or pay attention to something. It's like the ear ringing and how some people duality is a pain, agreed. And how sometimes that ringing amplifies when something important is going on. Spirit is sending you these signs and synchronicities so that we don't miss the things that are important, and to remind us to lighten up, to remind us to release and let go when we need to. You'll know what the message is when you receive the sign, if you just drop your analytic mind for a second and just what pops into your mind first. When you see that thing, when you see that number, when you see that sign, what is the first thing that pops into your mind? That's what the message is. The rest is just our mind trying to question. Yeah, so pay attention to those. Get as much rest as you can. Know that if things are coming apart, it's simply so that they can come back together more powerfully than before. All right, the sacred pool. This is a great reminder. Like we said, the salt baths, you guys. Really working with the energy of water, cleansing, clearing with water right now. Know that what's falling apart, it's happening for a reason. Everything that is happening in our lives at this time is for a reason. It is aligning us with our higher path. The Spirit wants us. Thank you so much again, Whiskey Mike. You're awesome. Spirit wants us to, this sacred prayer energy or magic prayer here. Spirit wants us to say every day, to wake up and say some version of, please align me with my highest and best path. Or please align me, like some prayer for alignment, asking to be aligned with our highest spiritual path, with our highest spiritual purpose, with ease and grace. Just whatever feels right to you, whatever type of alignment prayer feels right to you, use that. Whatever it is that you want in your heart of hearts that's being revealed to you during this eclipse, use that. Create a prayer out of that and send that energy out daily. Once you have cleared your energy, created that sacred space, send that prayer. Use it almost like an affirmation. And it's Spirit's calling it like a prayer of alignment. And then notice the synchronicities and the signs that Spirit sends you when you fall out of alignment.